It's that time again. We're ranking the cringe. Now, on the community tab, I asked y'all to give me the cringiest metal bands you could think of, and I picked 20 of those to put to the cringe meter. And quick disclaimer, we're all just having fun here. At the end of the day, we're all at least a little bit cringe. Take it from a guy in his mid-30s wearing a rubber skull mask.
Cringe.
Alright, but let's kick things off on a high note with Trapped. Back off, I'll take you on. Headstrong, I'll take on anyone. The kings of bad lyrics with even worse deliveries. The lords of soft ego Twitter battles. I mean, need I say more? I'm going to put them all the way at pure cringe, which is for bands that I do consider to be so cringe that there is pretty much no redeeming qualities, at least in my opinion. Even as a teenager who listened to a lot of cringe, I just never saw the appeal of these guys. Alright, let's move on to Belphegor, which was interesting to see pop up in the comments quite a bit, and I kind of get it. They definitely have some very, edgy boy, try-hard album covers with a lot of nudity and a lot of the satanic imagery. It seems like they're constantly trying to shock people, but just coming off as in Arrested Development. Definitely pulling on a lot of tropes for teens without really truly great albums to back them up. They have that one album that had a more symphonic flair to it that I kind of enjoyed, and they have songs I enjoy here and there, but I just don't think that they're that great. But on this list, though, I don't think that they're that cringe. I do think that they're cringe, but I'm going to put them at the bottom because y'all, you will not believe some of the other bands that are going to be on here. Speaking of which, let's go to Hell Yeah, and already just in name. The name is as cringe as it gets. There was a reason why they made my list of worst metal band names of all time. And then you've got plenty of bad lyrics too, I made a deal with the devil, now the devil's in my blood, I'm the bullet, he's the gun, now the target's on your back and here I come. Yeah, just super duper corny. The music video for Hush is also super overdramatic. You didn't wanna know. You didn't wanna know. Yeah, I'm putting them at very cringe. It gets worse than that, but it's pretty high up there. Now, an interesting one, Limp Bizkit, which I agree had to be on here and was highly requested, and it should be obvious. Another band that from the look to the lyrics is just the full package, and in a pretty similar way to Five Finger Death Punch, which we're going to talk about. However, I'd argue that they are better at delivering that package in a way that is fun, and at least on some level self-aware, and I can't lie, y'all, I still have a blast listening to songs like Break Stuff and all of that. So I'm going to put them at cringe but fun, because I really enjoy them, but I can definitely recognize just how cringe they can get. All right, 6 Feet Under time. So between these subpar music, bad vocals, and Chris Barnes constantly putting his foot in his mouth, there's no denying the cringe with 6 Feet Under. However, when it came down to it, I still think that they have nothing on, again, some of the other bands we're going to get into here. So I'm going to put them at mid-cringe. But speaking about the heights of where we're going to go here, we got to talk about Kid Rock. So I'm kind of cheating a little bit, but Kid has dabbled in the world of nu metal, and I can think of no better multi-decade ambassador of cringe than the cowboy himself. Even his best songs, which I do enjoy, especially that one breakout album, are just crammed with adolescent mindset, and his modern output and persona is that of the ultimate huckster troll. The latest album may be the worst offender of all, with hits like We the People and, of course, You Snowflakes, here's a news flash. Ain't nobody gonna tell me how to live. Yeah, Kid Rock's going right to the top. Pure cringe. All right, an interesting later addition, but one that made sense the more I thought about it. We do have Metallica, and I'm sorry that the logo ended up being see-through. You can see it there, but once I bring it over here, it's just a black blob. But anyways, we're specifically talking about post-Black Album era for the most part. In that era, there are some real gems in terms of the lyrics, such as my lifestyle determines my death style, I'm madly in anger with you, and you arrived, but now it's time to kiss your ass goodbye. And that last one, admittedly, is kind of fun to sing along to, but yeah, it's cringe, y'all. Come on, there's a science to this, as I've said. Now, again, far from the worst. I'd say on the scheme of this list, it's pretty mild, so it's going to the bottom.
That's all I needed for him to do that, and it became personal with me.
Slaughter to Prevail was probably the most requested deathcore band on this list, resoundingly from the audience, and I get it. The mask the persona, the kind of like edginess and tough guy energy, and the lyrics can be pretty bad too, but I can't harp on that too much when English is their second language. And it's another band too where I'd argue that even though they are cringe, they're also pretty fun. I didn't enjoy the album that much, but they dropped some banger singles. Like, I still really enjoy Baba Yaga. Fun stuff. So cringe, but fun. All right, a potentially controversial pick here, because we did get some arguments on the Discord, but we're talking about Slipknot.
I am shocked. Shocked. Well, not that shocked.
I have a feeling this is going to cause a divide, but you gotta step back from your enjoyment of it. They're a band I enjoy as well, especially Slipknot and Iowa. But you've got to think of such poetic lyrics as, I'm gonna slit your throat and fuck the wound. And then the further they get into their career, the more they appeal to the angsty teen kind of hot topic crowd with just the music videos, the grandioseness of it. It all comes off as just very corny. Corey Taylor too, just as a person, and the way that everybody dick rides like anything he has to say in articles, which I guess isn't entirely his fault, but that is sort of adding to the lameness of it. I will say though that Corey as a vocalist, I think, is another one of those people who's really great at having such a venomous delivery that even the cringy lyrics are often fun to go along with. But it's a little bit, I'd say they're a step above Limp Bizkit, which again might be a hot take, but I'm putting them at mid-level cringe. All right, but moving back up again, we have Ice Nine Kills. So everything about this band, in my opinion, is cringe. Like the music videos with all the like real shot-for-shot horror movie comparisons, and I'm a horror movie lover, but I just think it's like a bit much. And then the lyrics, especially for this band, get really bad. And I can think of no better example than Assault and Batteries. They're like Chucky remake one. It just encapsulates everything I think about how corny and lame this band can get, especially the best line of all time. I get why it's fun for some, and I can enjoy certain songs, but it's all very childish, so I'm putting them at very cringe. All right, so I alluded to Five Finger Death Punch, and we got to talk about him. Ivan is just a walking cringe machine, and basically every element of this band, from the logo to the band name to the lyrics and videos, is just pure unadulterated cringe. Like, let's not even bury the lead. I'm gonna put them up there while I'm talking. It's full of that like come at me bro energy, but it's just a thin veil for weak ego. And then they try to come off as these brave truth tellers, but it's just as corny as the people that they think that they're clapping back at. I mean, in particular, just listen to the Pride for the full scope of this one. Johnny Cash and PBR, Jack Daniels, NASCAR, Facebook, MySpace, iPod, Bill Gates. This one interested me. A lot of people requested Machine Head, and I'm not like a deep lover of Machine Head, so it's harder for me to sound off on this one, but I get some of it, like especially a lot of people make fun of their new metal era, especially with the look, with the crazy hair and everything. Rob Flynn is another one of those characters, kind of like Corey Taylor, who is just like always in the headlines and not always for great reasons, but I did dig up some lyrics, and I thought that I would do something with that. And now a dramatic reading of Do or Die. I don't give a fuck about your stupid little scene, reaction videos, and all your pussy little memes. How many fucking bands I gotta bury say a prayer to Mother Mary? Welcome to the slaughterhouse. I hear your motherfuckers talk to me. I marked your body with some chalk. See, I'm 1 in a billion, a fucking chameleon. We just will be the greatest. You are just the latest in a line of imitators. Step into the Terror Dome. Now, in spite of all that, though, I'm still going to put them at D because I just don't feel like fully qualified to really delve into like the full scope of this. But it's not looking so good, y'all. So they're at least a little cringe. All right, let's go with Atreyu, the worst metalcore band, pretty much, in my opinion. Now gone, one of the worst butt rock bands out there. And they're just, just so corny. So corny. Everything about them. Can't really enjoy the songs all that much. They're catchy on some level, but I will just use their own words in describing how I feel anytime I turn them on.
How fucking lame.
Yeah, that's so embarrassing.
Ugh.
Yeah, Atreyu's going to very cringe. All right, Head PE was one that I added, especially as I've been going through my new metal tier lists album by album. Like, I can't even repeat most of the lyrics here. Like, they are just, like, definitely TOS. I will say, though, that I really enjoy the music. Like, I'm really impressed with just how many genres they're able to mash together and do well. But goddamn, the levels of cringe are off the charts when it comes to the lyrics. I'd say Only in America is probably the worst album for this, but not the only one. I mean, it opens Represent with the line, "Yeah, where my dog's at, get your drinks up, your joints up, ladies pull your tits out, come on." Now again though, in spite of that, I have real fun with the music and I think it redeems it somewhat. So I'm putting them at cringe but fun. Alright, Stained. So live performances with the commentary in particular are what's getting them in the news right now, I would say. This once respected band is now like a butt rock conspiracy mouthpiece. And also kind of appealing to middle America in a way that feels very predatory to me, similar to Kid Rock. And then unfortunately the music isn't really good enough to make up for it in any big way, aside from maybe 2 albums. I don't think they're the worst offender on here. There's definitely like musically worse bands on this list too, so I'm putting them at mid-cringe. Alright, another big one here, Motionless in White. So I have similar criticisms here that I have of Ice Nine Kills. In fact, I made an entire video about it that you can check out. Great example of a band approaching politics from a very preteen approach and just in the wrong way, with lines like, "You can't spell virus without us. In the land of the free, you're a slave to the wealth. One mutilation under God." And of course, the entire song, Red, White, and Boom. Not to mention there's a lot of like teen romanticizing of death and then just like overtly lame lines like 1, 2, fuck you. So they're going pretty high. I'm putting them at very cringe. They're not the worst of the worst. I still think they have talent. I still can enjoy some of their songs, but they're up there. All right, another highly requested one that I haven't really thought about that much is Sleep Token. But even if you just read like a snippet from their bio, like that enough is to make you cringe. The members of Sleep Token are a masked, anonymous collective of unknown musicians said to be united in their worship of an ancient deity identified by them as Sleep, who appeared to the band's lead singer Vessel in a dream. Boy, that really reminds me of something.
I just had a vision, and the Lord said he is very angry with me for letting you take those pages.
He is?
Also, another awful fan base that just cannot take criticism. Just ask the Metal Meltdown when he reviewed their last album in a negative light. They worship them like it's a fucking cult. So again, a band I don't know enough about to share, and I could see them rising up very quickly. I'm just putting them at mild cringe for now because of like my lack of awareness, but again, it doesn't look good for them. All right, another highly requested one was Attila, a band I've largely ignored also because I just don't like their vibe overall. Like, they're so cringe that even from the outside looking in, like, I can just smell it. Another one, I had to dive into the lyrics, and theirs are particularly terrible, with some great ones like, "I wasn't born and raised a bitch, but you were born to suck my dick. Tits, 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 tits. I feel like I'm going 90 down the highway, butt naked in a pickup, smoking meth during a stick-up like a high-speed chase." Again, I'm not enough in the know to rank them higher, but it kind of reminds me of Head PE on some level, but even worse than that, I'm gonna split the difference, put them at mid-cringe. Alright, Stray from the Path. So another band where I really enjoy their music, especially Anonymous. It's a great fusion of metalcore with like Rage Against the Machine, but once more, the lyrics and particularly infantile yet self-important politics is frankly just embarrassing. In particular, I'm sure even those unfamiliar will remember their 5 minutes of fame with Goodnight Alt-Right.
And appreciate that if you appreciate that expect you just got knocked the fuck out.
What a time that was. I'm putting them at cringe, but ultimately kind of fun. I'm actually going to put them pretty high on that tier, though. And then there was no question who we had to end with here. It is Psycho Sinner / Psychosexual. What do I even need to say? Like, this is the definition of pure 100% unfiltered cringe. I don't hate many bands, but damn does Devil Daddy make it really easy to do that. I'm putting them all the way up at the top of pure cringe. Y'all check out this video for me and Mad Mike's toxic fan base tier list and let me know in the comments which band do you think is the cringiest and why. But that'll do it for now. Flight of Icarus signing off. I will see you in the trenches.